And Ron, lead us in the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll call the May meeting of Batavia Township to order. Clerk, call the roll.
Gilkerson?
Here.
Singer?
Here.
Tracy?
Yes,
Wilson?
Here.
Anderson?
Yeah. Okay, for the benefit of those watching on TV, we will take about a 10-minute break and check the bills and the accounts for April.
Okay, we've got road fund and GA, or township, is that it?
No, I didn't hear that there was any news.
This is bills. Yeah, it wasn't. I'm gonna do this one first.
Is that all you got? Just the two?
Unless it's mixed in here. Giving you the originals.
All right.
Okay, road fund.
Are we ready? Here we go. 4548, 525. Yes.
Yep.
4549, 2316.
Yep.
4551, 173.25.
Yes.
4552, 165.58.
Yes.
4553, 7,304.90.
Yes.
4554, 117.90.
Yep.
4555, 224.75.
Yes.
4556, 202.35.
Yes.
4557, 575.
Yes.
4558, 1,362.40.
Yes.
4559, 74.30.
Yep.
4560, 305.63.
Yes.
4561, 740.73.
Yes.
4562, 610.66.
Yep.
4563, 252.84.
Yep.
4565, 160.34.
Yes.
4566, 324.68.
Yep.
4567, 183.39.
Yes.
4568, 156.87.
Yep.
4569, 98.
Okay.
4570, 1,130.25.
Really?
Really?
Yes.
4571, 174.47.
Yes. Ending balance, $318,265.10.
Yes.
Today's 14th.
I was curious where you're awesome. So we'll put it back there for someone else to figure that out.
Conferences and stuff, that one's from the book.
These are all from town.
That was maybe a long one. Wow. General assistance,
Ready?
2 items.
4563, 245.
Yes.
4564, 86.59.
Correct. Yes. Ending balance, $103,314.03.
Yes.
There was no general fund?
No.
Unless it's It's mixed in these other ones, it's
You
not.
can't blame John tonight.
Me?
Yeah, you brought him over by van last time.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. General
Okay.
assistance one.
You missed one there, sir.
Oh, sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. It's okay. Not gonna use-
We have 2 next days before we do it. And so,
Is that small?
That's okay.
yeah, almost. That's your This is the organization.
And that was in this file right here.
So who are the brownies for? Curiosity.
For your nose, aren't you?
I see a plate of brownies, I just, I'm intrigued. What's that supposed to mean?
He's nice to me.
Huh?
He's nice.
Oh, well, gee, I guess I should have put 2 and 2 together about 2 minutes ago.
You're gonna get it.
I don't know, I wanted to play the brownies.
All set?
I didn't bring any.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion for approval of minutes from April.
So moved. I'll second.
Discussion?
Go ahead.
I want to add 4 words.
What page and what is it?
On the second page, where it says the budget was closed, but trustee Gilkerson wanted some discussion. At the end of that, it should say township was already covered in that area by local homeowners.
It's 1 4 weeks.
By local homeowners. I know it doesn't sound
Oh,
like much,
oh,
but
I know. I see.
it just corrects it. The local homeowners are the ones that didn't tell us that they had mosquito sprayed already in the works.
So at the very end of that paragraph.
Yeah, at the very end, just by local homeowners. It was covered in, the township was already covered in that area by local homeowners. So, it's my last word on the subject.
Okay. Anything else?
Thank you.
No problem.
Clerk call the roll.
Gilkerson?
Yes.
Singer?
Yes.
Tracy?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes. Entertain approval of accounts and bills from April with the exception of general fund.
Also move.
Second?
Gilkerson?
Yes.
Singer?
Yes.
Tracy?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes. I got a text from our assessor a little while ago saying that she was on a plane on the way back from vacation, so she is not here tonight, but she said that everything in the office is going smooth right now. Okay, Chris, Highway Commissioner.
The leaf pickup, spring leaf pickup's done, and then the brush pickup. The final stages of the first road improvement bid for shagbark and thorncrest. So that should go through county. That should be an early project. We're still looking to get some bids for a slurry for some cul-de-sacs in Tanglewood.
Slurry?
A slurry, yeah, it's a surface, a hard surface. And on Nelson Lake, we're gonna try a rejuvenation process, which is a top to put on, try to hold the top together. The new asphalts today have a lot less petroleum, heavy petroleum products in them, so they're more environmentally friendly, but they don't hold up. You know, try a couple different things to extend the life of them, like we used to do.
On Nelson Lake Road,
Yeah,
the new one that was just built a couple years ago?
yeah, that's at the time when you have to start doing your preservation. And that's the time that's the hardest. You just spent your money on it. It's hard to go and spend more money on it, but that's a new thing that we're trying to catch up and do some of that stuff. So, I mean, a lot of it's done all over the county. I was just watching a project today out in Big Rock, a little different material. But these all make sense when you look at the cost of asphalting. And putting a 2 or 3 inch lift on something, this makes sense to restore the top and add 2 or 3 or 4 years of life to it. The learning experience all the time, new stuff. That's it.
Okay, shed report.
Oh, concrete's floor's done. That was done right after the last meeting. We got the aprons to pour. We put in the storm sewer this week, or last week, and we're getting close to getting something that looks like it's completed over there. Once the front apron's poured, we'll wait 3 weeks to drive on it, and then we should be on it. By then, the fire alarm company should be in, get the fire alarm in it, and we should be able to go for a final.
Okay, thank you. Under old business, Neighbors Magazine, Mr. Tracy didn't even get one.
Yeah,
But they
well,
are-
most of postal customers should have received the May-June Neighbors Magazine, which has 2 pages of Batavia Township news.
I feel it's very well done.
I don't know whether we want to have discussion or not, but we are signed to again have 2 pages in the September-October 2013 issue. And I suppose somebody wants to open up that for discussion, we could do that. Otherwise, I will assume that we're going to do it, and I'll be looking for material.
Are you anticipating any, what subject matter? Do you have any idea yet?
I would like to have people make some suggestions.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Yeah, I mean, we can always, I think, find information to put there.
Fine.
My suggestion would be to go and look at the mental health aspect of this. Look at the Inc. board, look at our local board, 708
Yes.
board here, and give the information that the public needs to understand that we have a mental health component and that it's actively serving this community, and it's doing a wonderful job, I think, overall, of serving the public.
Yeah, and I don't,
And I think it's little understood.
That's a good idea.
right.
And we will do that.
And if we can assist with supplying you with information or something
Right.
on that, I'll be sure to give you my card before I leave, okay?
Good.
Okay. Thank you. And 708 board, I think, I asked Jerry here tonight for two reasons. For one thing, or Ron, but maybe he could explain to the trustees what the duties would be for a person to represent the board.
First, let me take the opportunity to thank Ron. He has served as the trustee liaison from this body to the Batavia 708 board for quite a few years, and the exact number escapes my mind right now.
Probably 10.
Yeah, and has done an excellent job. The job of the trustee liaison, and by the way, I call it trustee liaison because it actually can be any one of the 4 trustees or the supervisor, and it varies from township to township, okay? But, basically as a liaison, it's their job to bring back to this body information about what we do with that portion of the township levy. The mental health tax levy is a separate, line item, within your aggregate levy, and the liaison brings the information back about, with the statistics about the number of people that get served, the number of units of service, what agencies, the Batavia residents are using, et cetera. And it is only 3 meetings a year. Let me start out by saying that. It is only 3 meetings, and they're on a Thursday night. And they're usually one in June, one in October, and one in February. Although those can sometimes vary by like a week or so. For instance, because I have 7 townships that we schedule these for. I've got 4 of them on Thursdays and 3 of them on Mondays, so we're always juggling the calendar a little bit. Like this one, the next one for Batavia is actually the last Thursday of this month. It's actually May 30th, okay? But it's the first of the 7, so we'll get that one out of the way right away. The meetings generally only last between an hour and 15 minutes altogether. And the main purpose of the meetings really is for us to report back to the board, the 6 people that you have appointed plus the liaison, about what we do with the tax levy money, the number of people that get served, the number of units of service, what agencies, et cetera, as I mentioned. But it is also to provide feedback for us about what you see going on in the community. For instance, what people are showing up at the building department, down at the village or something like that. Or I know for a while we had a police officer, from the police department that was on the board, and we would get feedback about what he was seeing on the streets. Oftentimes a lot of the feedback that we get are people that were, like, say, school social workers. Like when Mary Ann was on the board, she would tell us about what she saw coming through her door at school. Any number of people. I mean, you think that mental health has to be some sort of expertise things. It isn't. It is about keeping us connected with the community so that we know exactly what's going on, and that's the main function of the Batavia 708 board.
I talked Jerry into money for ADHD evaluations for the kids in East Aurora. Very poor families, and some of the kids were just off the wall, and it was Aunt Martha's, and you really help.
Right, and I think Jimmy asked me a little bit earlier how things were going, and I said, that the landscape is changing a little bit with the Affordable Care Act coming in, and with changes as far as Medicaid, et cetera, depending on how Illinois handles that. There are going to be some changes in the landscape. I think a lot of what we're going to find our local money doing is stepping in and picking up services for people that don't have any other way to pay. People that don't have insurance, that don't have benefits through work or anything like that, and yet they aren't poor enough to qualify for Medicaid. So they're that stuck in between set of people, and that portion of the population is getting bigger and bigger, and that's where our local money really becomes important. Because an agency, it might cost them $72 an hour to provide counseling, say for a married couple or something like that. and using the sliding fee scale, maybe they can only afford $30 an hour. Well, it's our local money that picks up the difference, so that the agency can still provide the hours with the service. So sliding fee scale, unfunded clients, all that sort of thing. So Mr. Wester, you're exactly right. I'm here recruiting tonight because I do need to have somebody from the town board act as our liaison back to the 708 board. We've got that 708 board meeting that's coming up, and I'm hoping at that meeting then that board will also determine who will be the representative from that board to the Inc. board, which is kind of our umbrella board. That's our 15-member board that makes all the funding decisions and everything. Ron has actually served in that dual capacity. That is not a necessity as far as this particular position is concerned. Usually all I ever ask for is that, that I get somebody who can faithfully attend the meetings, the 3 meetings a year, and bring back the information when you guys meet monthly. And if you have a sincere interest in mental health, developmental disabilities, or substance abuse, that's a plus, as far as I'm concerned. Let me just ask Ron if he wanted to add anything to that, because you've had this job for a while.
No, I think it's very self-enriching to have the experience of visiting your area and knowing about the agencies in this community that serves the public in that aspect, and at all ages. And I know now you're spearheading to work with senior citizens and maybe broaden your scope a little bit.
We're trying to expand services to seniors just because we know that bubble, that baby boomer bubble is coming, and seniors are going to be needing more services. So.
Going back, I'm reflecting back now on my first month or 2 or 3 here, and I asked a question of Jim Anderson, my supervisor, if we did anything for mental health. And I wasn't aware of the 708 or the Inc. board or the fact that we taxed as a portion for mental health services. And Jim opened a whole new door for me. And I appreciated that because it allowed me to grow and to develop and to have the foresight to look at people like Jerry who work on tirelessly, I might add, for this community. And I certainly appreciate that, and I'm no longer going to be on the board, and I've really benefited as a person from being around you and with you and being a part of your life.
Thank you very much.
I think one of the interesting things about the mental health tax levy, if anybody ever asks you about that, if they look at the tax extension and say, well, what is that? It is one of the very few things on the tax bill, and most people don't see it because it doesn't end up on their personal tax bill, but you guys see it because it's part of the tax extension, okay? It is one of the very few line items on there that the taxpayers actually voted on and said, yes, we want to do this. Most of the things that end up on your real estate tax bill, you never had a choice about. You never had an option, and this is one of those that did. I know Howard sits also on our Batavia 708 board, so I wanted to give him the opportunity, if we could, too, to maybe pipe in here.
Well, I just wanted to have you clarify for the public. Our board meets on Thursdays. What night does the Inc. board usually meet on?
Those are on Monday nights,
Monday nights.
and there's actually 6. Those are 6 meetings a year. It's the 4th Monday of the odd-numbered months. So actually, I have a meeting with that one coming up this coming Monday. That one's moved up a week actually because of Memorial Day.
I also want to point out, as you said, it was voted on by the townships. It's interesting that it was only the lower third, I believe, of the King County, plus Virgil now, which was added
In the year
fairly
2000.
recently, that actually voted in a 708 taxing levy. There are a few city boards, for example, St. Charles, I believe.
St. Charles and Geneva have municipal 708
Municipal
boards.
708 boards, but those are separate from anything that works with the Inc. board, I believe.
Correct, yes. And they're actually, if you look at all this from a countywide standpoint too, I always make the point too, like our county board chairman and anybody who represents the North, there is no local funding for mental health services for about 40% of this county. Elgin, South Dundee, all of those areas up there, there is no dedicated local funding for mental health, DD, and substance abuse. And they're working on that. We have some people that would love to do a referendum. It's just that these days referendums die an early and ugly death, so it may be a while before they could do that. But we have had the advantage here, you're right, Howard, since 1970 of having millions of dollars of support for the services in our end, and we've built a pretty good system.
And it's still not enough.
And it's still not enough, yeah, I hate to say that, but, you know, we do the best that we can with what we've got.
Let me just add, Jerry, that in our township news, in the Batavia Neighbors magazine, I indicated that a pretty good sizable portion of our tax levy goes to the 708 board, about a third of our total levy.
That's also why the liaison position is very important, because we want you guys to understand exactly what it is that we're doing with your money. So. if I can
Thank
get-
you, Jerry.
If I can get volunteers, is that what we're?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll sit down now.
Okay, next, I guess, is the oath of office. And we all take an oath of office after the election, every 4 years. So, Sue, if you would like to administer those?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll go first. I, James Anderson.
I, James Anderson.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
So I will support the Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
And that I will faithfully discharge
And I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of supervisor
the duties of the office of supervisor
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Congratulations.
I, Christopher Long,
I, Christopher Long,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of Highway Commissioner
the duties of the office of Highway Commissioner
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. I'm just joking. You were just in the end there. Okay. I, John West,
I, John West,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of trustee
the duties of the office of the trustee
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Mr. Singer. I, Brian Singer,
I, Brian Singer,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of trustee
the duties of the office of trustee
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Watch that with the camera.
I, Vicki Mitchell,
I, Vicki Mitchell,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of trustee
the duties of the office of trustee
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability. Congratulations.
I, E. Tracy,
I, Lee Tracy,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United
that
States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of
and
Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of trustee
the duties of the office of trustee
to the best of my
to
ability.
the best of my ability.
Howard
Mr.
is
Katz is going to.
Notary.
You just swear in.
Sign there. Yeah, yeah.
I, Susan Pecana,
I,
raise
Susan-
your right
Oh,
hand.
sorry.
I, Susan
I,
Pecana,
Susan Buchanan,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly
that
swear
I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of Township Clerk
the duties of the office of Township Clerk
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
didn't get shot in my bag.
No. No, you see, no, you don't have to notarize those, but because you have authority to do.
Okay, thank you.
But as notary, I have to stamp.
Let me just mention, for purposes of the camera and the folks watching, the issue of the Batavia Township News has some biographical information about each of us
No, I didn't.
who are elected to office.
Not really.
It does, well, it's in the news.
Yeah, right.
You're in there now.
I know. This says my name.
Thank
It's not
you.
biographical.
And just a note, I just received a letter from the county stating the consumer price index for next year, which would be for our levy this fall, is 1.7%, which is cost of living basically. So, Ron, would you like to come up here?
Sure.
I would like to present this plaque to you, Ron. It says, Batavia Township would like to thank Ron Gilkerson for 16 years of dedicated service and recognize his compassion in the fields of mental health and social services.
Thank you.
That's the speech? That's the speech?
That's all I have to say.
I already gave it earlier.
I am a very happy person.
I think you explained well earlier.
Yeah, I said it earlier.
You did.
Yeah, I don't need to say it anymore.
Okay, is anybody else has anything to say? Any fun? Okay,
Maybe you should explain why we didn't swear in the tax assessor at this meeting.
because she's not here.
No, because their term
Because-
takes over at a
Yeah, but you can
different
still
time.
swear her in.
Oh, okay.
Because our term doesn't start until the 20th.
And the tax assessor's
This month.
term
January
starts.
1st of January. Anybody else?
I just,
Okay.
sorry. Sharon Mitchell had contacted me regarding if there was a group interested in working at the river walk, if the township wanted to get together a group, so I don't know if you guys want to think
Who
of.
contacted you?
You know, the planks, they were
Yeah,
doing the, Sharon Mitchell, she's doing the volunteers. So I don't know if the township wants to get a group together to
Anybody
volunteer on Saturday morning.
interested in that?
I think it would be pretty fun to do, pretty good. We should do it.
When again?
Maybe you can think of a date and
Oh,
then do
yeah,
the next
pick a
meeting. She just asked me to announce it and see if anyone was interested.
I know when Britta was here, she said they like smaller groups.
Yeah.
Smaller groups of what, like 10, 12?
Yeah.
Well, whatever
Is that what
she
you said?
can, because if she has two small groups, she'll, put them together.
Mhm.
Right.
Because I know that I had about 5 groups working on the original boardwalk, not from the township.
I think there'd be a few of us that would do it, so just tell her yeah, and then we'll figure out who wants to help. And
Okay.
if it's
Better
too
to
small,
get-
help somebody else.
I'll work on my tan.
I hope so.
I'm sure you put lotion.
30s, that's right.
And then the other thing is that Batavia Main Street has their annual fundraiser, Cocktails on Clark, which it's not going to be on Cocktails on Clark. It's being relocated to just the other side of the city hall because Clark is still pretty wet from being flooded. And it's this Saturday at 7 p.m. and it's $25 and it's got a tasting and cocktails.
So it's gonna be by
and-
Peg Bond?
No,
No.
it's actually behind the
By the
city,
windmills.
on the south
East side.
east, kind of right behind the city building. There's like
On the riverside?
Little pocket
Mhm.
park there.
Okay.
Yeah. So if anyone's interested, I've got some postcards and, yeah,
Okay,
on Saturday. That's all I have to say.
all right, anything else? All right, we've got some refreshments, and anybody wants to stay, we'll be glad to have you stay.
Should you time and date? Time and date? Next meeting.
Next meeting is June 11th at 7 p.m.
I'll move for adjournment.
I'll second.
He's gonna go out and smile.
Okay. Gilkerson?
Gilkerson?
Gilkerson, your last one.
Hi.
She's taking the role.
We have to take the roll.
Here.
I think you figured that out by now.
Whatever
Yes.
word, whatever word.
Yes. He's doing
Tracy?
abstention.
Yes.
Wes,
Is that what that was?
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes. How about?
Thank you.
Oh, and Vicky
Hey.
Mitchell.